The social life in America has gone from bad to worse. Now here's the thing, I don't want to seem like I'm complaining because to be honest, I'm happy that I'm born in America and I realize it's the land of opportunity in a way, depending on how you interpret it, right? But there's a lot of things going on here, but more and more increasingly, Americans are finding the need to leave. Here's the thing about that. About a month ago I made a video and it's titled very similar about America as the worst country for social life. And I noticed that video got a lot of response, so it made me think like, a lot of people can relate to this subject matter. So I was like, you know what, let me do a follow-up video. I see I'm still getting comments about it. Let me go further in detail because in that video, I didn't give statistics and facts to support my claims, but I did go over a few points. So this time I took some notes, wrote some notes down, and I said, hey, I'm gonna go over these point by point to illustrate more in detail what I'm trying to explain. So first I want to start off with one of the leading causes as to why the social life or lack of social life in America is in the position it's in now. First is the long work hours. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average working full-time job is at least 40 hours, right? But that's average, and that's at least 40 hours. And here's the thing about that. The reason why I say at least 40 hours is because the illusion that you're working a 40-hour job. Let's say your job is 9 to 5, right? They'd be like, hey, go get a 9 to 5, make something of yourself, do a career. Okay, maybe during the week, on paper you work 40 hours, but you gotta consider the lunch break. A lot of times a lunch break is 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, usually in those increments, right? If you have a 30-minute lunch break, you're not gonna make it home and back. It's just not happening. So that means you gotta stay within the work vicinity, and for those 30 minutes, even if you finish your lunch early, you're not getting paid. Now let's say you got an hour lunch break. Depending on where you live in town and your mode of transportation, you may be able to get home, maybe. But even so then, let's say you leave at 1 p.m. Guess what happens on the roads? Everyone else is going home for lunch at 12 or 1 p.m. or they're going to their local eatery. So the roads are more compact than usual, which means it's gonna take you longer to ride to your destination, right? Same thing with rush hour, going back to the 9 to 5. Have you noticed 6, 7, 8 a.m. there's a lot more people on the road than 10 p.m. And when you leave at work at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., etc., there's more people on the road during that time than 8 p.m., 9 p.m. That's because everyone's getting off at the same time. So now it's gonna take you longer to arrive to your destination. A Gallup poll found that over 50% of US workers have a feeling of being burnt out and overworked. So if you're overworked, overstimulated, how are you gonna thrive as far as your social life? You just spend all day at work, and then now it's taking you an hour to go to and from work, and you're not in line with your circadian rhythm, you're not eating properly because you had to rush on your 30-minute lunch break, etc. You're gonna feel slightly off balance, right? In 2021, the US Census data revealed that the average commute time for workers was approximately 26.9 minutes. So, forget what I'm saying. You can look it up and do the facts. That's just under 30 minutes that the average person is spending just going to work. But guess what? What you gotta do? You also have to go back. So if you're spending an hour a day going back, and then you spend an hour on lunch, and then you spend 8 hours working, potentially another 1 or 2 hours overtime because inflation, but hey, you gotta sleep. So if you consider all those hours, how much free time do you really have, right? I got an expression I say, free time isn't really free because it's a give and take, right? But a National Bureau of Economic Research study found that long commutes contribute to increased stress and decreased socialization. People who spend long hours commuting often have less time and energy for relationships, leading to a feeling of social isolation. These are all facts, right? You can Google all these, you can pull up all these things that I'm saying, and then you'll arrive to the conclusion that I'm arriving to. So let's go back to see why else is there this social issue going on in America? Why are people's time being consumed, right? right? And another thing is your house maintenance. Going back to the examples of working, let's say you feel burnt out, right? You still got to drive that 30 minutes home, roughly on average, right? Then when you get home, you got something called housing maintenance. So if you have a house, you may have to do yard work, front yard work, may have to clean up after the kids, you may have to cut the lawn, pick up leaves, shovel the snow, whatever you got going on, clean up the driveway, wash dishes, prepare food for you and your family, right? These are all things that's cutting into your time. And people may not realize it, but this is going to affect your social life 1000%, right? So I want to go to the next topic here. Let's see what we got here. There's a shift towards suburban living. So one of the reasons that we don't realize that social life is being affected is because we've been brainwashed to think the American dream, picket white fence, significant partner or significant other, 2 kids, a dog, and a gated community outside of town. But guess what happens when you're outside of town? You're outside of range of other people. When you live in the suburbs, you're not going to interact with as many people as people who live, let's say, downtown in a major city or live in an urban area, right? We've been brainwashed to think that, okay, if you're in the main city or if you're in downtown, it's dangerous. So instead of being in downtown LA, why don't you go to Santa Monica? Why don't you go to, Lancaster? Why don't you go to Beverly Hills? They want you to be kind of on the outskirts. If you're in New York, they don't want you where the people are at. They kind of want you a little bit on the outskirts because it's safer, right? But there's less people to interact with. And also that adds into your commute time, which goes into your free time, which takes away from the social aspect of what's going on. Just something to think about, some food for thought. Now, another reason why we are having these social issues, in my personal opinion, and from what the facts are saying, is there's a decline in friendship and social connections. As a child, we went outside, we played with the kids. Oh, what's going on? We go to this person's house. Okay, we at Jeffrey's house. Now we go to Chris's house. Let's go 4 streets down the road, see what the other neighborhood's doing. We're riding bikes. We're playing basketball. We're jumping up. We're walking. We're doing all type of activities. Nowadays, kids might be on the video game all day, or adults may have social media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, etc. So you feel like you're connected because you're typing, but you're not really getting those real life social interactions how we were designed to be as humans. This is all a distraction. Now, I'm not saying this to complain. Once again, I'm just bringing y'all attention to this, right? Because this is a man-made object. The trees, that's a natural object. The bushes, outside, that's natural. If you're inside just on this all day, this is not real, right? This is not a real interaction. Now, I'm using this because this is my form to get across to you guys. I got family and friends I communicate with, and I'm going to become a full-time YouTuber. So I appreciate everyone who enjoys this content. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I'll be going to Thailand in 20-something days. So I appreciate everything, and let's keep this content going. So let's go to the next point. The American Sociological Association reported in 2020 that social isolation is at an all-time high, with nearly 1 in 3, which is about 33%, Americans saying they have fewer friends than they did 5 years ago. What does that mean? We're here, but it's going down. 5 years ago, what happened 5 years ago? The pandemic. So that means ever since 2020, 2021, around the time the pandemic happened, people have gotten even worse with socialization. They've been working remotely, so they've been used to it, etc., right? So now they're staying at home even more. But let's talk about the romantic relationships. The National Marriage Project in 2020 reported that fewer Americans are getting married, with the marriage rate dropping to 6.1% per 1,000 people, compared to 16.4 in 1970. I mean, I can go on and on with this information. There's unlimited information. I had like 3 more bullet points that I wanted to discuss, but I realized I'm gonna break this up into a part 3. Why not? So let me know in the comment section what you're facing as far as why you believe Americans are becoming more lonely. globally, or why America may be the worst country when it comes to socialization, and what we can do to fix ourselves. Is it just the solution just to get out of here? Let's all go to Thailand, Mexico, Canada, wherever? Or do we need to come up with something else? I'm curious to know your opinion. Let me know in the comment section. You can always reach out to me on social media as well. And I hope everyone have an amazing day. Peace.